All right, hello and welcome to the FPL Hangover podcast, where we raise the bar and lower the tone, all things FPL related. We are recording here today on the 25th of October, 2021. This is episode number 125, season 4, episode 11, the same number as a certain talismanic Liverpool player, but that we will get to at a later time. You may notice that this is not your usual podcast host, in that Jur is not here today. So it is being hosted by me, the at FPL drunk Seamus, and I'm here joined by my podcast partner in crime, Paddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Seamus, and that was a fantastic intro. I don't think Jerry will ever recover from that. It was that good, you know what I mean? Like,
not quite first time. I must say that those intros are like, you make one mistake, you're flustered. It took me 3 or 4 goes there to get that.
Don't be telling any of the secrets. You nailed it first time, man. And you know what? You're a fantastic host, and we're about to lower the tone.
Yeah, I mean, I already think this podcast is one of our best, and we're like a minute into it.
I'm behind you. I'm 100% behind you.
Yeah, cool. Well, look, we're discussing this game week just gone, game week 9. Bit of a mental game week, monster scores going around there. Game week average rank of 64 points is what I'm seeing here on the website. Some huge scores, huge amount of variance involved in this, and we're about to get into it here in a moment. What we'll do is we'll start off by just doing a quick review of our game week 9 scores. I'm going to offer to you to go first. So Paddy, how did your game week 9 go?
Well, thanks for asking, Seamus. It's great. It feels great to go through this pain once again. You know what I mean? I've already went through it once, so here we go.
Get it out of the way early.
I'm going to get off right. This was my game week to turn everything around, Seamus. If any of the listeners remember last week, I was saying that I was going to be the guy, the guy that was doing bad, that was going to turn the season around and start doing well again, because you and Jer are doing pretty good, and I thought to myself, okay, I'll captain Lukaku. I'm going to go Lukaku because we discussed, if there was any game week to captain Lukaku, it was going to be this game week.
Yes, and of course, last week when we recorded, it was before he went off injured against Malmo.
Exactly. So we're just going back in time a little bit, just like everyone remembers. So I was going to go Lukaku, and that was totally cool. Lukaku gets injured, and I'm like, right, shit. Maybe I go Captain Salah now. Maybe I bring in Vardy. Maybe I bring in one of the other candidates. Anyway, I decided to go and bring in Edouard from Crystal Palace. Bit differential, but I still had Ronaldo and Antonio. I thought was enough, and the people would be selling Ronaldo like fuck. And we know how that went as well. So I decided that was fine. The talk started. It started in Twitter. Havertz. Sorry, I'll make that.
I've already had to correct you on his pronunciation. You, for some reason, thought it was pronounced Havertz and it was a silent R. Yeah. But we got to the bottom of this pre-pod because I didn't want you saying Havertz for the rest of the season. Basically,
it basically annoyed the fuck out of Seamus, so I had to Google the pronunciation of Havertz, and it's not Havertz, it's Havertz. Havertz. I still can't fucking say it. I've been saying
by the end of the pod, you'll have it right. But anyway, the talk on FPL Twitter was Havertz.
Yeah, Havertz. He was there. He was. Some might say FOMO, fear of missing out. And you know what? I considered it, but it wasn't FOMO for me. I actually, Seamus, we talked about it privately. I did look at the fixture, Norwich. I thought to myself, Chelsea playing Norwich, it's a gimme. It's a no-brainer,
yeah,
okay?
That's a 5 or 6-0 right there.
Yeah, exactly. And let me tell you this now, right? And I said this to you off air, I'm going to say it again. If you were to tell me the result of the Chelsea-Norwich game, okay, that it would be 7-0 to Chelsea, but you weren't going to give me who scored or any details of the match, and you offered me a triple captaincy on Havertz, I would have took it. I would have done it. I would have triple captain Havertz in that game, knowing it was 7-0. I would have made that decision, Seamus.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Would you have made that decision if you were told that score?
Yeah, in that circumstance, in a Back to the Future almanac kind of
Yeah.
way, if I read the almanac, but it didn't have the
If you got
scores.
the magazine that Biff stole from, you know, you
The
would have
almanac.
done. Yeah, yeah,
That's what it's
yeah.
called.
Oh, is that what it's called? I was thinking
Yeah.
that's a fancy word. So that brilliant. So we're already on the same vibe, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You're more Back to the Future.
No, yeah,
fan
no,
than me.
I'd have done the same thing. If you're hearing it 7-0, you're going, look, we got to get some of that. And he was the only attacker and full back, I guess, that I think actually, bar two of the three substitutes that came on, he was their lowest scoring player in the entire game. Everyone else got, six defenders got 6, Rudiger got 9, Chilwell got 12, James got 13. You just can manage to miss it. No, I was never keen on that player because I was like, I'm going to want rid of him in a few weeks. But anyway, look, you got him in.
Seamus, you were very vocal on that last week as well. I remember you saying that, he was only a problem that you would get, you're only bringing a problem and a 3-week problem.
Yeah, and
you said something about that, yeah.
I'll tell you why, because I'm the master of that this season. I'm bringing in players who are becoming problems that I then have to move out later, and it's actually costing me long term because I'm not able to then move for the players I really want to get back in. Case in point, Trent, without taking a hit. So if I want to get Trent back in this week, I'm going to have to take a hit because I was fucking around with Alonso and shit like that. So, look, that's an aside. We'll get to my team in a while. Tell me more about how the rest of your team went. Actually, so you got 3 points from him. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish up here, right? So I brought Havertz in, okay? So that made me then for a -4. I may add, I brought him in for a -4. So that made me. I had to bench someone, Seamus. I had to bench someone in my team. I was playing 3 at the back, so I couldn't really bench any of my defenders. So I had to bench on my midfielder. So I decided out of Mbeumo, Rafinha, Salah, and Smith Rowe, somebody had to go to the bench. You get me, Seamus?
I do get you because I was watching that Friday night game.
Right, Seamus, pull out that little Back to the Future magazine there again for me and tell me, who would you bench out of Mbeumo, Rafinha, Salah, and Smith Rowe?
Well, obviously, it would be Rafinha because he's more likely to go off injured than anyone.
I love it. So, yeah, we know how this tale goes. I benched Smith Rowe, who ended up getting 13 fucking points.
Yeah.
And on top of it all, in my defense, I had Christensen. Christensen didn't play for Chelsea, which bypasses, obviously, my injured bench player, Aileen. Smith Rowe was never coming on, my first sub. And on comes Williams for Norwich with a -1.
Oh, Williams came up for a -1. I did not even realize that. Oh my God.
Like, I've been kicked in the testicles 16 times, right? Havertz -4. Havertz -4. I didn't captain Salah. I captained Havertz as well, by the way. And I benched Smith Rowe. And then on top of it all, right? Every single thing that went wrong, Williams -1 comes on, and I get a fucking 49 overall score with a -1 for Williams and a -4 hit, which is 44 points. I am now down to an overall rank of 2.5 million in the world.
Yeah, I did the math beforehand. So I've been with 44 points after your hit. So you're on 49. That Williams got you a -1. You sent me this earlier, and I was like, what was the -1 about? I didn't realize Williams actually cost you a -1. So 48 -4. Game week rank of 6.1 million, I believe. This is before, not including the hit. So probably a bit more when you factor that in. Your OR from 1.5 million to 2.5 million. That is like a huge drop. That sucks. And look, all because not all because, but that Salah captaincy. How many points did you calculate that cost you? 21 points.
Crazy.
Would have been a 65. Would have been a bad week, but not terrible, not dirt.
And Seamus, in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to ask you how your team done, by the way, because Jer always fucking gets on to us. We never ask him how. Oh, you never ask me how I fucking done. But I will ask you, Seamus, in a second, right? 2 questions for you. First one is, a guy like me at 2.5 million right now. How many game weeks in? Game week going into the 10th game week, okay?
Yeah.
There's other people out there that are listening to this that are doing, like, probably stinking out the place as well. Where is a realistic finish for us guys now? Where should we even for? Should we be even for top 500k? Or?
Oh yeah, certainly. I think it could be top 500k before Christmas.
But top 100's gone.
No, I don't even think it is. I don't even think it is. It's a weird season. It's so tight there in the top 100K at the minute, and that's part of what I want to discuss here. Once I do my own team, it's super congested. It's really, really tight. There's definitely ground to be made. I know last season when I was at like 2.5 million, and that was at like game week 6 or 7. Only a couple of weeks further back than where you are now. I was able to gain rank, and I think I got just outside the top 100K by about New Year's. Like I was 150K or something like that. Now, whatever way the rest of the season went, I was not really able to move. I went up and I went down, I went back up, but I never really got past the 100K mark. It was just a weird, odd season for me. I think it had been established by then. But what you got to do is you got to try and you got to try and push and get back up to as close to 100, 200K. I wouldn't even focus on 200K rank. I'd be focused on trying to get to 300K rank, which you can get to pretty well. But if you 2 or 3 good game weeks in a row, you'll get to that pretty quickly.
And Seamus, can I ask you now, as someone who actually made that claim, and I remember last week actually giving you a dig, I was like, oh, it's a humble brag, and here I am now, and it's the most valuable information in the world. Can I ask you, when you were there and fucking disillusioned and like these horrible feelings of dread, the tactics, there's 2 choices here. Did you start to go maverick and start to, fucking, do these, try and chase the points, or did you just play safe and just tune into a safe game? Like,
no, the opposite. I went ABC FPL. All right, that's what we often call it in some chats I'd have, group chats and other players I speak to. ABC FPL. Go back to basics, okay?
Yeah.
So you're talking about like captaining Salah. It's not going to be glamorous, option. Captaining Salah. Getting
right
in
the wave.
Trent, Cancelo, just keep getting the guys in there.
Just go safe.
Do you know what else it does as well? It allows you to kind of disconnect from FPL a small bit, because sometimes you can get too involved and you're looking at the maverick moves, like your Havertz, and I'm going to get this guy in, I'm going to get that guy in. Like, I think Jer said it to me, a guy that you overlooked this week, he told you last week, get in Livermento, who got 9 points, for Ayling, who was injured, or for, who's your other defender who wasn't playing? Williams, who came on for -1. So that was a 10-point swing. If you just did that one move,
I would have been fine.
Didn't focus on Lukaku or Havertz, because you would have got
and
got him off the bench, and you might have captained Salah.
I was about to make that early move. I was going to make the early move. I was going to just do it right there and then, spontaneous, get rid of Ayling for Livermento. But Jer also said, I'm not blaming Jer, but I mean, this is FPL. He says, no, wait. He goes, what if Salah gets fucking injured in the Champions League? Exact words. What if Salah gets injured in the Champions fucking League? Keep your transfer. I kept my transfer. Lukaku got injured, which sent me into turmoil. Well, not turmoil. I didn't have to still make the move, but I made a transfer, and it wasn't Livermento anymore. The fire wasn't Ayling. It was the big, expensive Lukaku, which also goes back to the basics of only... Well, no, you can't even say that, because that was a fire. I had to...
not only, but fix your weakest part of your team. And I said it to you before a ball was kicked on a Friday night, before Smith Rowe did his thing. I was like, realistically here, you could have 8 attackers play and only have 2 defenders play. And so you'd still end up with 10, because you had Williams, who recently hasn't been playing. I know he came on here, but he cost you -points, so I don't know if you want to count that as a win. Then you had Ayling, and who's your other non-playing defender or player who's risky? Oh, Christensen, who didn't play in the end. So Christensen's risk, Ayling is definitely out, and the other guys are... I was like, you could end up with 10, and look, lo and behold, that's what happened. So I think that was more of a risk when Smith Rowe had a fine fixture and making a transfer there. Now, I know that ended up being the case because you got Lukaku, but I think I would have went for a defender. But anyway, personal preference. Anyway, so just to summarize, 44 points overall. That leaves you on 2.5 million, in the mud a bit. And look, we'll discuss how you can get back there in a bit, but you asked me, I'm going to say ABC FPL, go back to basics. And before you know it, you'll be back up in the top million, and from there you just reassess your goals. You should constantly be reassessing your goals. Get in top 500K, then you're looking at top 300K, then you're looking at top 100K. Before you know it, it's Easter and you're having a wank.
That's what we need to hear. I love it. And Seamus, just there, you said if I had done the Sal cap, I would have got 64, and I would have been great still. You actually got a total of how many points?
Well, it's great. Thank you for segueing into my team, but I want to discuss Jer's points. I'm going to discuss Jer's points first of all, because Jer actually the best of the 3 of us. And it's tradition that the person hosting the pod ends up going last.
Okay.
As Jer's always keen to tell us.
I
But
don't even know what
to
Jer got, so I'm looking forward to
Jer,
this.
to his credit, had it even better. Jer got 97 points.
Oh my
He
God.
almost got the ton.
So happy
His
for him.
point. Yeah, I'm sure you were. His points came from Salah captain. He got Jimenez, Antonio up front, so his forwards did okay. He had Livramento, he had Trent Alexander-Arnold, he had Rudiger, so the back line did well.
Wow.
Yeah, had up to 97. So I mean, fair play to him. He got a rank rise.
He's the go to the pod.
I'm not sure exactly what he's on. I could pull it up here, but I meant to do it before the pod and I didn't write it down. So fair play to him. I'm going to give him props. Well, I can talk about my team in a bit more now. I think what happened was you spilled your pint of Guinness everywhere and it distracted me.
Yeah, I did.
So that taught us a lesson. And that's not going to happen when you're drinking whiskeys here, so that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Less of a mess. Okay, so my own game week, I got 86 points. Okay. Mixed feelings about it. I'm quite happy with the score in itself, and I got some decisions brilliant, but I'm being punished for decisions I'm not making an indecision here, so it's a bit frustrating. Actually, 86 points you think would be enough for possibly a green arrow, but no. With a game week rank of 1.6 million, I dropped 20k in rank, so now
that's fucking mental, Seamus.
Yeah, it's just very
you
tight.
You got 84 points and you fucking drop. What's your overall rank? Sorry.
86 points. So I'm on 617 points in total. OR is at 123k. I started the week on 103k, so just outside top 100k. I'm 4 points behind 100k. All right, so basically 4 points difference from maintaining rank last week, which was basically the Liverpool clean sheet, which had been bust when Ronaldo scored, but then was ruled offside, or that 94th minute Wolves clean sheet penalty bust, which was really heartbreaking because I was relying on Cody there when I started Alonso, this week. And Alonso didn't play. I just felt like after a few games in a row against Norwich, that might be the game that Alonso might get. He's going to get one of these games here. I'm assuming may not actually happen. And so I started Alonso. He didn't play, so Cody's coming off my bench, and that would have been 6 points. That would have been enough to see me with a slight green arrow, 100k, but no, it didn't happen. My points were actually quite similar to Jerry's. Rudiger, Livramento. I didn't have Trent. I captained Salah. I had Antonio. My transfers this week were Vardy in and Cancelo for Marcel, who actually got dropped. So that would have been a problem I would have had to deal with. Cancelo only got 1 point because of Ederson. Yeah, and Ederson brain fade there, where he just flew out and clattered into your man, which is so stupid. But look, 1 point. He's a long-term hold anyway, so I'm happy to have him. And I went with Vardy. Now, the odd move I made, and Jared kind of gave me some grief about this, was I went for Ronaldo to Vardy, not Lukaku to Vardy. So I've got an injured Lukaku on my bench, which seems odd. But I can explain this.
I'm looking forward to hearing the explanation of this, because it does seem odd that you kept the injured Lukaku and you sold Ronaldo, who could have maybe popped up, and he kind of did against Liverpool. Was disallowed. So give us the reasoning behind that. Like, because did you have an idea of how long Lukaku was going to be out for, or?
No, we didn't really know. But look, as it turned out, he was definitely ruled out for 2 games. He may actually be back for Newcastle. We'll find out during the week. I don't expect him to. So he's going to be my planned transfer this week. The forwards I want in there alongside Antonio. Basically, my big problem the last few weeks has been Ronaldo and Lukaku up front. So much money up front there. I should have a few weeks ago sold Ronaldo for Antonio, but I wanted to keep Ronaldo and I upgraded Scarlett, and that's caused problems, and I need to address that. So I have identified that I wanted to get Tony and Vardy in the next 2 weeks. A part of the problem as well has been there's been injuries cropping up, like Lukaku, Rafinha,
and Vardy like now as well.
And now possibly Vardy. I'm waiting on news. Do we know anything about that yet? No,
nothing. I haven't heard anything concrete yet, but I'm sure something will come out soon. But just I know you're still deep in your team and all, but you're thinking about Tony's and all this. Can we pencil it in later to talk about Hang Lee Chang for Wolves as a possible replacement later on? But continue on your.
Look, I mean, Tony's got some amazing pictures coming up. So my planned route had been Ronaldo to Tony until Ronaldo got injured, and then with that, when the Lukaku injury happened, Vardy's started getting a ton of interest, and I looked a bit more closely. And there was an element of worry being left behind with the effective ownership if he did well against Brentford this week, who at the same time are still a promoted team, and they did win 2-1, lest we forget. So I said, this week I'm going to go for Vardy, and next week I'm going to go for Tony. I was trying to figure out who I wanted this week.
Yeah.
Tony had the home team advantage this week. But the thing about Vardy that I liked was Brentford. Okay, I wasn't actually expecting too much this week. But Arsenal at home next week looked amazing, and particularly Leeds in game week 11. Like, Leeds are terrible right now. They're just like conceding so many goals. So I was like, this is the guy to get. Price is going up. Let's get him in. But if I wanted to get him in for Vardy, it wouldn't give me enough for Cancelo. And Cancelo, in my mind's eye, had to come in. I could have sold Alonso for Cancelo, but part of my brain just was like, Alonso's going to start. And if he starts this week, if it's going to be a 5 or 6-0, which it's going to be a paddling, which we thought it would be, it would be amazing to have him. Imagine I sold him for Cancelo and then he got like a 15-point.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
And that's, look, it leaves me in the same position this week because I need to get rid of Alonso, and I'm like wondering, well, maybe he'll start against Newcastle now. So I'm in a position there, Paddy.
I think we need. Yeah, go on ahead, Seamus.
Yeah, so I'll just finish that. So anyway, Vardy came in for Ronaldo. And the other thing would be if I sold Lukaku for Tony to make up the money, I would have had to bench Ronaldo. I would have had to bench one of Ronaldo.
You wouldn't bench Ronaldo.
Exactly. But I would have had to bench one of Ronaldo, Sarr, or Gallagher. And I wanted to have Gallagher for this fixture against Newcastle at home, and I wanted to keep Sarr for that Watford game. And if you told me, like you said, Watford would beat Everton 5-2, I would have been asking, so how many goals did Sarr get? Did he end up with a double-digit score or a triple-digit score? But he only ended up coming off with 2 points, and he didn't even play too much. He only played 63 minutes, so he got his rest this week, which is a shame. Even more of a shame is that the person that came on for him, Dennis, got a goal and 2 assists. So that's a real shame. But there's no way he's going to be benched against Southampton. So one more week for him at least. And look, after that, I have no problem benching him. But look, this all stems from all the money I've put into my forward line. Okay,
yeah.
And that has to be addressed. So like Lukaku, if he's not told, unless I hear he's available for this weekend, which I'm sure I won't, he's going to go for Tony.
Seamus, basically Ronaldo has ruined FPL for a lot of people.
Yeah, that was one of my mistakes. I made a few. There is a 35-point swing in variance here by going for Alonso over Chilwell. 35 points would have me, like, that is ridiculous amounts. Okay, so if I had just done that a few weeks ago, but it's the Ronaldo is the big problem. A few weeks ago when I wanted to get Antonio, if I just went Ronaldo to Antonio, and I think Ger went Ronaldo to Lukaku at the time, so he just kept the one premium striker. They're just not playing well, and put that money. It will give me the options for the likes of Foden, maybe Mount. I said weeks ago Mount was going to be my Jota replacement, but then Mount was obviously injured, and I don't think anyone expected him to do so well. So, let's talk about some of the other players that performed well this week, okay? Because there was a few that caught it right?
Yeah, there was, but such an interesting discussion there, Seamus, with variance, and I want to say there's people listening here that done great. There's people listening that done shit. But, you can't beat yourself up about this game week, Seamus. Like, there was a lot of 50-50 calls that just went fucking the wrong way.
Yeah, that's the way it was. And look, a lot of people, there's huge swings in fortune this week. Sorry, I'm pouring a drink as I'm talking here.
Lovely Jameson too, lad. Do you know what?
Yeah, I did.
I might join you for one. I've one right here in the back pocket. Here, cheers, lad.
Stuff, yeah. Cheers.
Here we go. Cheers, here we go. Boom.
Now I'm going to dilute mine with a bit of ginger ale because I'm a bit of a pansy here, so apologies to all the purists out there. But there was some amount of points this week. I've got enough from Grand, not as much as you now, Paddy, but look, I pulled up some stats. There was a few players that did well this week. Look, we all know the main ones, but it caused huge shifts in changes in OR for many players, both upwards and in your case downwards. You could see it in our own FPL Hangover mini league podcast mini league. So some players climbed a huge amount of places, and other people have fallen quite a bit. It's still really condensed. Like 4 points is about 20k Like each point is like 5k. It's really, really close. And even to 50k, I think I'm only 14 points off that. It's one good game week. If I had the game week, like if I got a 100-point game week this week, I could be 30k or something now. So this could all happen again. So like the game week average overall was 64 points, but for the top 10k after hits, it was 86 points. So I kind of came in on average for that, So that's telling you the difference with the top.
The big boy league.
The casuals, yeah. But at 64, you weren't too far off that, you know what I mean? So captaincy wise, okay, I pulled up some captaincy percentages for the week just gone. Top 100k captaincies, right? Salah was the only one with an overall percentage, an overall effective ownership over 100% of all players. Okay, he had 169. He was captained by 69% of players. Havertz 10%, Vardy almost 8%. So, but Havertz was well selected. Like, you're not the only one that went for him.
Yeah, look, Magnus Carlsen selected him.
Yeah, it was just madness. I don't think
sorry, it wasn't a crazy captaincy pick. Like, I mean, people went for a fucking it was like kind of a week, right? It was a 50-50 week. If you'd have went Havertz and you'd have got your fucking, if he had came in that 7-0 win, and God forbid fucking United had some kind of a spine and maybe drew with Liverpool. I mean, like, we're just talking here like complete like variance and alternate universe here, but I mean,
it's all hypothetical.
It's hypothetical. Like, it wasn't the worst captaincy in the world, Seamus. And you even said to me, Paddy, if you're bringing him in, go fucking all in on him. Go in and have Havertz. And I said to you, Dan, and I did challenge you on this. I says, do I really need to? Bringing him in is a risk enough. I think I might go Salah, but you didn't sway my decision. I always make my own decisions. But I did lay in bed then. I had a bit of a spaces, and I thought, you know what? If I'm going to I was 1.5 million, Seamus. And I wanted a little lift, wanted something to fucking, bring me back into the fight. I thought, I'm going to do this captaincy with Havertz. But now, Seamus, I've got the stuffing knocked out of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got a rush of blood there, Paddy. And we're all prone to that. In fact, like when we spoke during the week, I was saying, look, you've got like the first question anyone asked when they're talking about bringing Havertz this week, I said it to like half a dozen people that were talking about it. It's like, who's your first bench? And if they had a first decent bench, I'm like, don't take a hit to get in Havertz if he's on your bench, because he's good. And I think I asked you, who's first on your bench? You were like, it would be Smith Rowe. And I was like, don't even bother. And kind of talked you out of it. Then we went down one of Rubber Ducky's spaces, I think, and everyone was so hot on Havertz. I think you got that rush of blood. And
it's Rubber Ducky's fault.
Yeah, I'm going to blame that guy. But then I said to you, I was like, well, look, you brought him in now. You certainly got to be considering him as captain, especially if you took a hit, if that's how confident you are. And yeah, I can't remember how that conversation went, but you ultimately end up captaining him. But like one of the rules I have here is if I'm bringing someone in for a hit, I have to either be captaining them this week or next week, or at least considering them as a captain. So I don't have to go for him. For a while there, I made that rule. If I brought someone in for a hit, I got to captain him to try and put myself off hits. But I don't think you have to do that as long as they are a captain option, which I think Havertz was.
Yeah.
But he's playing up front. That's the thing. It's not like he was playing in midfield. He's playing centre forward from.
That's it. And there was also, you were on that spaces along with Ash, FPL Hunts. And remember, Luke came on. You were there when Luke came on.
I was, yeah.
Scout Luke, and Luke was like captain Cancelo, or a City defender. Do you remember he was talking about that? And
I think he went with Chilwell, did he, or something?
Yeah, or maybe Chilwell or something like that. Did he go with Chilwell?
He went with Chilwell.
Oh my God! But anyway, we were.
Chilwell got 12 points, so he did fine. But it's just like at one stage it looked good, but just it ended up costing him points. But he went for it, so fair play.
Yeah, exactly. And we were talking about this captaincy thing, and it came down to really, in my mind as well, that Liverpool and United was a game, right, where we knew Salah was in form. United weren't that hot, but we thought, this was my thought process, that, and Luke actually said as well, that it's one of those games where anything could happen. It's a big game, and sometimes you watch those big games and you're looking forward to them all fucking weekend. You're making plans to go to the pub. It ends up a fucking 1-1 or 0-0 or blah blah blah. Suppose if you want to dwell it now and look at the stats, you might have seen it coming. But I think sometimes those games, they just can go any way.
Yeah.
And what we did know was that Lukaku was injured, Werner was injured, Havertz was going to play up top against Norwich, who were absolutely pish, and the ceiling was very high. So I can't regret what I did. I don't think anyone listening can regret what they did. I think it's just I'm not saying the people at Captain Salah were like fucking lucky or anything like that either. I mean, that's a good decision, but I think people that went for Havertz were they don't deserve to be like, oh, that you're a terrible FPL manager now because you've done that.
Yeah, and there's actually people in the FPL community saying that.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're just trying to get a rise, but look,
I think they're narcissists.
You're not a terrible FPL manager if you didn't captain Salah. But you've been really, really punished by variance because I think this United results I saw coming. I was very worried about it just when I saw what they did to Atletico Madrid, and I was like, United are not, and I'm a Man United fan.
I know.
We are not Atletico Madrid. And seeing what they did to them, I was like they're going to score, and if they score early, which they did,
if they score
early, we could be we'd be totally fucked. I was like, this could be 2-3-4-0 by halftime, and like what was it, 3-0 at halftime?
Exactly, Seamus. And Seamus, I'm not interrupting here, but I mean, like, I'm a United fan as well, and I know what they did to Atletico Madrid. But I actually thought, being Manchester United and knowing what Liverpool are about, I thought we'd have more bottle, we'd have more strategy. I thought we would actually close. I thought, and yes, I'm foolish now thinking that, but I thought we would fucking be able to hold them. I never saw 5-0.
A lot of people seem to be forgetting that Spurs game last season where was it 6-1? Is that the final score?
Yeah.
A lot of people forgetting that. No, they can down tools. They have the propensity to turn to muck. And I previously when they played big teams last season, I was pleasantly surprised. They would keep it tight. There was a lot of 0-0s. Did not see that it's a different team. The dynamic is off this year, so I saw it coming. So that's why I'm a United fan, and I know a lot of United fans in groups that I'm in and mini leagues that I'm in who didn't captain Salah for that reason. And I would have been the same when Liverpool played Man City a few weeks ago. It's like, I don't captain Salah in these tough away fixtures or these
it's different. It felt different though.
But this week it felt different. Just the form he's on, I would back him to score against anyone. Basically, the only fixture I wouldn't back him against is Man City, and I would just try something else then. Any other game, he's fair game. And that's not saying he's going to be a perma captain for the season. In fact, I think we had a question from Ash earlier who's saying Salah perma captain for the rest of the season.
Why not?
Perma captain. I'd have to pull up his exact question. He's a perma captain for the foreseeable, for the next not for the next 10 game weeks. Would until the AFCON Cup of Nations. Not sure.
Seamus, so we're not going to have Havertz captain against Newcastle next week?
I think you should double down. No, what did I say to you? I said ABC FPL.
Yeah, you're right.
Salah's playing Brighton. If he gets anything, his ownership is going to be close to 200%. There's going to be a lot of people triple captain this week. Now, I don't think he's an amazing captain this week because Brighton aren't terrible. I know they got smashed by City this week, okay? But that tells you they can be smashed. So, yeah, you got to go for him. I think, personally, that game will be 2-0 Liverpool, 3-0, 3-1 Liverpool, maybe. He might be involved in any of those. It could be Mane Jota, Firmino, whoever. But, yeah, I'm going to captain him because if he does anything and his ownership is 190%, you're fucked, So people took the chance this week. Now, I got to give some props to some people here because some people, like there was one guy in one of our mini leagues, right? I'm going to give him props here. It was Ian Quinn, right? He was already top of one of our mini leagues with an OR of 25k before this week. He only went and captain Mount, the crazy bastard. He had Mount in his team already, so he wasn't getting sidetracked by this Havertz stuff. He was like, I've got Mount. I'm going to captain him. He was the only person in our mini league to do so. He also had Salah and Phil Foden as well.
Wow.
And he had Livramento and Trenton and a few others. So he ended up with a game week score of 119 points, a game week rank of 28k. Now he was already on 25k starting the game week. He ended up with a new overall rank of 2,779. He's in the top 3k this one game week. 668 points. Amazing. Actually, on Saturday, he had a live overall rank in the top 200 worldwide.
Oh my god.
That Salah game actually fucked him a bit. It brought him back down to the rest of us. It pulled them all down. But like if Salah had blanked, he would be easily top 1k right now. So like that was amazing courage to captain someone other than Salah.
And I applaud that. That's absolutely amazing. You know, and
Yeah.
and you know, I don't.
The Havertz owners. That could easily be in the Havertz owners.
And right, come here. I wanna give plaudits to a friend of mine who I know listens to the podcast, Jared McGee. He's at Telephone Tough Guy on Twitter, and he scored 142 points this week. He's a close mate of mine, and I was looking at the stats earlier, and I seen 142 points, and I was like, oh my god!
That's
and the highest points this week was 165, I think. So he's just 20 points off being the best. So Jared, I know you're listening, unbelievable, mate. And then we're going to a wedding this weekend, so we will be talking non-stop fantasy football.
Oh yeah. Buy him a pint because that man deserves
it. I said I was going to buy him a pint. I said I was, and we have a 20-euro bet on every year between the two of us, and he's never won it off me. So
I think he might be pushing you close this year, Paddy.
I think he fucking will. I might ask him to pay out for a tenner.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's amazing, and that's the highest points I've seen from anyone this week, and even higher than anyone in our FPL Hangover podcast.
No, come here, it's right up there.
We'll get to that.
Points.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. So look, I mean, fair play to these guys that went for it. But if you had those guys, those were the highest point scorers in the game this week. Mount, Salah, of course, who like pretty much everyone has. Foden. Other notable mentions: Chilwell and James, the Chelsea fullbacks, scoring 12 and 13 points respectively. Josh King for Watford got a hat trick. He played amazing. Smith Rowe, who you had on the bench. I said I'd just check some of these ownerships because I was like, wow, a lot of these guys. You know, none of them are very, very highly owned. I checked the top, the overall percentage of ownership and the top 10K effective ownership just to see how they went this week. So just might be something interesting. Mount is overall 12.8% owned, all right, but only 3% in the top 10K. So if you had him in the top 100K or something like that, he was probably a huge rank rise for you, okay?
Yeah.
Foden was 8%, 8.5% overall. But 23% in the top 10K. Now, if you recall, last week a lot of people got him, and we got a return last week. But this week was the week he really did well. So he got 18 points. Now he was lucky, I think, in a lot of respects. The second goal, especially, hit off the back of his leg or something like that, and went past the keeper. Like no one actually thought it was his goal till Sky showed, oh, that's been awarded to him. The first goal, I didn't even think he scored. I thought it was an own goal, but. You know, look, I mean, they were not going to give it to him unless he did get a touch, but it didn't even look like he'd been intercepted. So he was that close to getting an assist. So fair play to his owners. The thing that appeals to him more than Mount is that he's actually playing centre forward to Man City. But I've already distanced myself from Man City players this season because, who knows? Like De Bruyne could be playing centre forward next week or Sterling or something. I don't know. So look, I think he's a great pick. I'd encourage people to consider him or get him in. King is like super cheap. I think he's 5.5. I'd have to double check his price. But as that third striker spot, you know, he's really appealing. Up there with Broja, I'm not sure how you pronounce that yet, with Southampton, who scored again this week. I think he got 8 points. So look, those are some of those players. None of the other players have any real meaningful.
But Seamus, what about Han Chang Lee? 5.7 million. Wolves. He's 4 goals now. 6 starts or whatever. I put up a tweet about it. Good fixture. Some would argue better than Tony's fixtures. Well,
look, he's had good fixtures and he's make hay when the sun shines. That's what they say. He's got 4 goals in these last 6 games. Okay,
8.5% owns.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's got Everton at home, who are really struggling at the minute, and then Crystal Palace away. And I think Crystal Palace are better than people are giving them credit for. Although I don't really like Wolves attackers very much, if I'm completely honest. I'll say this before this week, and I haven't updated this week's stats. Before this week, he had 3 goals from 4 shots, not getting a whole lot of shots, and he's relying on Jimenez to create for him. So I saw his goal this week, and it was Jimenez assist again. He's a good for his price. He's amazing value. I could not put anyone off him. He's a brilliant third striker spot. Is he a good second striker spot? I'm not sure. I think he's a great third striker spot. But there's competition there. As I said, Broja. I don't know if it's Broja or Broja, but I like Broja more, so I'm going to lean in on that.
Broja sounds cool.
For Southampton. That's the guy. But he went off injured, so who knows what's going to happen with him. He got 78 minutes. That's 2 goals in 2 games for him. But their games, next 3 games, are amazing. That's why I would be leaning more towards him. Like Watford away, Villa at home, Norwich away. that's better than Hwang's fixtures, which next 3 are Everton at home, Crystal Palace away, West Ham at home.
That's a good point. But did Everton not concede 5 goals?
They did. I haven't watched match today. I can't count them too much, but I know they're bad.
And Seamus, I'm not like, I know I'm just looking here. I just done a tweet about Hang Hee-chan earlier. Like, so I've the updated stats. Like 6 appearances, right? 4 goals, 7 goal attempts, and 7 in the box. 50% FPL goal involvement, and he's only 8.4% owned. 5.7 million. And you've next 3 fixtures. I've next 5. Next 5 are really good for him. Yeah. But I mean, I'm right there with Broja as well, because I don't know about Armstrong, and Broja seems to have taken the tops. You know, he seems to be taking Armstrong's spot, and I do really like Southampton's fixtures as well. So it is, I think, a 50-50 maybe. I don't know. I think I prefer Hang Hee-chan.
I think I lean the other way. I think I prefer Broja a bit more. But again, he came off with a bit of a knock this week, so look out for news on that. I mean, I'll put it this way. I would rather both of those guys than Lukaku and Ronaldo right now.
Amen.
You know, and save yourself.
And they could easily fucking outscore them. They could easily outscore them.
Save yourself a good 14
we'll make notes on that for next week for a laugh. We'll just check that out next week.
But sure, that's it. Okay, anyone else? What other talking points did I have here? So look, we've already mentioned Foden, and I thought he was a bit lucky with his goals. And look, Sanchez basically threw in the first goal. I mean, that's another unsung hero this week. A lot of us said Sanchez. He got 2 bonus points. Who knew?
Yeah, that's
amazing. 8 saves. Yeah, before today, I think he'd only made more than 2 saves in one other game. Now, then the last game he makes 8 saves, which is what we know what happens against big team. When little team meets big team. So to speak, and I know Brighton are up there near the top of the table, so I'm just being a bit disparaging to annoy Brighton fans here more than anything else. But he's going to make saves, which is why I'm going to play him against Liverpool. You know, and if Salah doesn't score a hat trick, you know, Sanchez might be on for bonus again. But I'm happy enough with that. While we're here, okay, so is there anyone else you want to talk about before I want to get into the FPL Hangover Mini League? Because there was lots of movers and shakers. I think it's reflective of this game week in total for players.
Before we go right into that mini league, there's a couple of things I just want to get off the chest. Or not, actually.
Bear in mind, Paddy, now we have to get through a few questions in the drunk tank too. So, and we said we were going to try and do spaces at 11, so we want to be.
No, we 15 minutes, Seamus, and I 100% believe we can do everything in the 15 minutes. But after the drunk tank or the questions, are we going into a little preview of Game Week 10, or are we just going to do that in spaces?
We might do that in spaces because I haven't prepared that too much, and there is Carabao Cup games to happen this week as well. So
right, okay,
like the way injuries.
So the unknown.
We might discuss our own teams and how we're going to set up for the week and our own thoughts on our own teams.
We'll do that in spaces as well. But like just before, for the people on the podcast, like we have a few things we just need to get off our chest here, Seamus. We have Mbeumo injured. We have Rafinha injured. We don't know the outcomes of that really, so. Maybe
Rafinha looks fine. I think he posted he'd be ready for the next game after the game.
Brilliant. Okay, well that's good.
At the time, but I think he put on Instagram or whatever something along the lines of he'll be okay. So I don't know about Mbeumo. Again, look, I still have to catch up on some of my matches today.
Yeah, but so still, it's good to get out here on the pod so we can keep an eye on that going into the week. So keep an eye on Mbeumo and Rafinha. But right, give us the league, man. Can we share some of the league stuff? Because I love league stuff.
Oh, this week there was lots of movers and shakers in the league. I'm delighted to bring some of these up. We have a new number 1. Is the first thing to mention in the league this week, okay? And it's our good friend Richard Evison at FPL Dad. The FPL Dad. Score of 104 points, broke the ton. Fair play to him.
Yeah, good thing, yeah.
No, he had all the big dicks, you know, in the league. So he's Salah captain. He had Foden, he had Antonio, Alexander Arnold, Livramento. That was enough to get you 104 points this week, you know. So he pushed up there. The biggest massive upset this week was our former winner, Helen Christo Duli. I pronounced this here. I had this down earlier. I want to make sure I got her name.
You're getting on to me about fucking Havertz and you can't even pronounce the number 1.
No, I get it. So it's Helen Dooley Days. Okay, Christo Dooley Days. Excuse me.
Congratulations, Helen. Do the days. Well done.
Helen Christo Dooley Days. Okay, and she was number 1 for the last few weeks. No, there's no congratulations this week. She went against the Salah captaincy.
Oh, you're
she went
shite
for
there,
Captain
so.
Kane. Yeah, she dropped from first in our league all the way down to 13th.
She went for Captain Kane.
She Captain Kane.
Is
Yeah,
it
she's been
Pierre
nailing
against
it.
West
We gotta cut her some slack because she's been absolutely nailing it. I know she listens to the show. So my commiserations there. Okay. Yeah, going with Kane, scored 59 points, dropped from first to 13th. In fact, Jer is only 2 points behind her now when she had been massively ahead of Jer for a while. Her OR, this is such rough punishment for not captaining.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
So prior to this game week, she was at 1,374. Like she's been killing.
In the world, 1,000. Wow.
Top 1.5K.
Wow.
She dropped down to 42K.
Oh my God. God love her. Imagine being 42K.
She scored more points.
Being 42K.
She scored more points than you this week, Paddy, as well. Like by quite a bit. She scored an extra 15 points on you this week.
Yeah.
So,
just God
that
love
tells
her.
you.
Hey, come here. God love her being 42K in the world. You know, God. You know what? You're right. Hey, what's her name?
First world problems. These are first world problems.
Christine what?
Christy Dooley Days.
Hey, Christine, do the days. I'm so sorry that you're only 42K in the world right now, alright?
Crocodile tears, Paddy. Well, look, she's
it's a 2.5 fucking million.
Alright.
There's people out there fucking that fucking don't have fucking Smith Rowe on their bench and can't have it's fucking captain, alright? No, go on, move along. I have no sympathy for Christine.
You sound like FPL mate here. Come on. No sympathy.
That's an absolute
no sympathy.
You know what? Cancel the pod. That fucking bastard.
Okay.
Nobody sounds like him.
Sorry, I brought it up.
Nobody sounds like FPL.
Sorry, I brought it up.
Sorry. Go on, no.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, okay. Look, I mentioned the bad word.
As an avid listener, she will understand that I'm just fucking slagging her, right? Yeah. But 42K in the world, she's going to bounce back from that. And you know what?
Oh, yeah.
I'm in her team actually. She's one of the people that had like balls of steel. No, tatties of steel. She went for it.
I'm not sure what the politically correct term is here for this, but yes, no, she did. She
went for it.
She was brave, but look, it's a cautionary tale, Paddy. This is what happens when you want to go against the herd. I mean, you got to pick your punches in a fight, and you pick the wrong punch, you lay yourself up to a body shot that's going to lay you on the floor, and that's what's happened here. So look, it's a real shame. I'll just go through the rest of the top 10 there quickly. So as I said, FPL dad Rich Everson, he's number 1, 669 points. Number 2 is Chris Joe. Number 3, Peter Ovington, the Rubber Duckies, our old friend. Joint third is Simon Doody. Well, he was our manager of the week with 130 points this week, by the way, Simon. That's an incredible score. So your friend even did better than that. He actually rose 20 places in our league.
Wow.
20 places.
Wow.
He went from 23rd up to 3rd. So, and he's only 5 points behind Rich. Number 5, we've got Martin Baker. Number 6, we've got Maxim Malinovsky. Number 7, we've Jack Spalding. Number 8, Bitin Mukherjee. And number 9, we've Donald Hannigan. Number 10, Scott Kent. Okay. Right. And that rounds off the top 10 in the mini league. So
Seamus, can I out the guy with the most points on the bench? Because I'm really excited because I just looked at this.
Oh, dude, no, I want to do it. I've had run-ins with this guy.
All right, you can do it. Can I laugh extra loud, or can I?
You can.
Can I?
No, look, you know what, Paddy, I'll let you do it. I mean, I don't want to rub salt in you. This is painful, but this is obviously something
we won't rub salt. But this is box office stuff here, like.
I think I've had run-ins with him in the past. We've had disagreements over stuff. I mean,
I don't mind this guy. Actually, my interactions with him are pretty cool. But I mean, like, I don't know what's going on. Is it a mistake?
I think it's laying one's balls on the line and going,
He's a Manchester United fan.
He must be, yeah.
I'm looking at his profile picture. I can see like a Cantona number 7, a Bruno number 18 in the background. We'll out him his name. He's Donny FPL.
Yeah, the person we're talking about here is Donny FPL. He's benched 39 points by placing Salah and Trent on his bench. And
Salah 24 points, 10 points for
Trent. Of course, yeah. So there's a second cautionary tale. I tried to play
have a whole
this
podcast on this. Why do you bench Salah and Trent?
It's because he couldn't leave his club allegiances at the door, which is what you got to do in FPL, and that's what I did this week. I mean, I didn't want to see United get spanked, but I was like, the writing's on the wall. This is what's going to happen. And I would have. I don't know if I would have. I think I more likely would have captained Lukaku if he had been fit and available. Because why else do I have him if I'm not going to captain him at home to Norwich? I would have captained him, especially considering Liverpool were away. But look, we all got lucky in that sense, us Salah captainers, that it kind of pushed us into that. But
So Donny's a casual player. Then he just plays for the fun of it, obviously, and the crack.
I have no idea.
Trent Alexander and Salah.
You gotta play these guys.
You can't not play your. How much is Salah?
He's been going up in price. I don't know who doesn't.
Anyway, forget about it. Right. Anyway, that's fucking mental, Donny. Donny, fucking respond to us. Tell us what kind of drugs you were on, how many of them you had, and what kind of drugs that you're selling, because we might take some. Right, go on ahead, Seamus. Any other madness?
There's a few more in the league. I'm just going to touch on them in a minute. But just seeing as you mentioned Salah, it's worth mentioning how insane his form is. I mean, there's no point saying it too long because everyone has him. Everyone's probably going to be captain all the time. But he's got, so far, where am I going? I've lost my track. Okay, so far he's got 107 points in 9 game weeks. He's averaging 11.88 points per game. He's got 10 goals, 6 assists, as well as 6 clean sheet because he's a midfielder, 16 bonus points. He's got 6 double-digit hauls out of 9 games. Okay. He's everything you need. He's on track for like a 400-point season. He scored in all but 1 game weeks this season. That was against Burnley in game week 2. He's played 90 minutes in every single Premier League game so far. The next player in FPL with points are both Vardy and Antonio on 57 points. So he's 50 points clear of second place. It literally, if you look at the charts, it goes 57 points second place, 107 points first place. He is so far ahead of anyone that he's actually more than double the points of the player in 4th place, which is Son. Double the points.
Wow.
It's insane. We're going to have to all captain him for the next few games. I just don't know what to say other than that. It's insane. So that was that. While we have the FPL Hangover mini league podcast mini league up at the moment, I'll just mention a few huge risers and fallers. This indicates what's happening in the league. The biggest riser this week was Scotty K. He rose 38 places this week. The biggest fall was Fionn Hayes, who dropped 40 places. So Scott Kent, by the way, went from 51st place in the league up to 10th.
They basically swapped.
They basically swapped.
And Seamus, can you give us the best transfer of your amazing league? Give us the best transfers there, and I'll do the worst. Who were the best transfers? That's important to me.
Okay, you're right. The best transfers was Emmanuel Ansu, and they gained 24 points from their transfers. They sold Pogba, who got red carded, Greenwood and Lukaku, and he brought in Tony Gray and Salah. Okay, now I'm not sure if they captained Salah, but if this isn't taken.
No, there's no captaincy included here.
But he took a -8 and still ended up 24 points better off.
A net total of 24 points with a -8. Fantastic. Well done. Can I tell you who was the worst? Who was the worst transfers? And this is pretty spectacular. Cian McGinley, team name Sticky Rice. He made a -8 for 4 transfers, right? And he got rid of Lukaku. He got rid of Rudiger, 9 points. Havertz, 3 points. And Jota, 11 points. And he brought in Vardy 1 point, Son 2 points, Alonso 0 points, and Benrahma 3 points. That cost him 25 points with a -8. Unbelievably fucking bad luck. Another man probably swayed. Yeah.
He took out Havertz and Rudiger, and he brought in Alonso, and he brought in Benrahma. This guy was hacked at some stage, I reckon.
Yeah, I think he was definitely hacked.
Yeah. Well, look, that's the FPL Hangover Mini League at the minute. As it stands, look, it's still early days. FPL Dad, let's see if you can be caught. Fair play. Commiserations to Lenny, who's a regular listener. We got to answer some of these questions before we finish up because we're going to run out of time. We want to get the spaces going, okay? I already answered answered Ash's question about perma-captain Salah between now and the AFCON Nations, and the answer is he's definitely going to be captain for the foreseeable. But whether that's 2-3 game weeks, form is everything. You don't need to perma-captain anyone. There's going to be times where you're going to pick it. I think I looked at game week 12 as a good opportunity to maybe captain somebody else. And I think I'm looking at Son, maybe even Kane in that game week. There's options out there. But yeah, for the next 2-3 game weeks, it's Salah, definitely. What do you think? Anyone, would you perma-captain until January?
Listen, mate, I'm ABC now. I'm not going fucking DEF anymore.
Fair
you
enough.
know, I'm back. I'm just going to look. I've had a couple of punts. I'm 2.5 million. It's time to get back onto the track. I've been bullied off my fucking mad picks. I'm just gonna. But well, I'll tell you what I will do. I'm not gonna go rage transfer and have Ertz out of my team. I'm gonna keep him. I'm gonna keep him for the 2 fucking extra fixtures he has. If I'm looking at anything, I have Eduarden. He has City this week. I don't like that fixture.
Just bench him.
No, but I was planning on benching him, but I have to see how Rafinha is.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, sort out your defense. You've got like 2 playing defenders, 1.5 playing defenders of the defense. Sort your defense.
But look, I can play Rafinha, bench Edouard. I would like Edouard for the next 2 fixtures, but then the other side of me is I could just sell Edouard for Hang Chang Lee.
Dude, you're not even listening. You're going to end up with 10 players again. Like, your defenders aren't going to play. You know, you're going to end up with like maybe another minus points off the bench for.
But I have to see how what I'm saying is I have to see how Rafinha is, because we don't know how.
If you have to play Edouard and he gets 2 points against Man City, that's better than like Hwang is not going to light it up. Okay, he's not going to score a brace or something like that. Wolves aren't scoring those goals.
At the moment, I have 3 flag players. Mbuemo, do we have any
These guys will all play. I told you, Rafinha's going to play. Mbuemo is probably going to play.
I have Mbuemo, Rafinha, and Aileen. So you saying I need to get rid of Aileen for
Get rid of Ailing. Yeah, get rid of Ailing for Livermento. I don't even know what the fixtures are right now. Livermento has got someone really good this week. It's Burnley or something.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. He'd be bench.
Get Livermento, man.
Edward will go to the bench, and I might just do Aileen to Livermento.
Oh, if I could do it. And look, this wasn't even the question. Chief asked about perma-captain Salah, and you're talking about what try to Havertz. So, look, that's my own opinion.
I'm not going to captain Havertz. The captain is Salah this week for me.
Yeah. No, I think so. Oh, I would love if
I went off
the script. He said Lukaku's available this week. Yeah. Look, Newcastle is a good fixture, but look, we're going to get through these because I want to get into this spaces here. And
right, let's do it, guys. Thanks for fucking listening. Go on.
No, we're not finished. There's more questions. We're going to get through these. We're going to answer the people, and then we're going to get in there in 2 minutes. Okay. Next question. Would it be quick fire round? Nuclear Adams at Particle Impact. Now he does start off the question pretty badly because he says, without sure the heart and soul of this pod disappears. Boo. Question. I've already got my funds spread out across the positions finally. I won't be able to get Son, so I was thinking to get Greenwood and Reguilon in game week 12 since United and Spurs have got good fixtures around the same time. Thoughts?
I'm not looking at Spurs at all. Go on ahead though.
I'm not looking at Spurs defenders, but Reguilon is the best of them. If they look, see, the good thing about this is it's game week 10, so you've got game week 10 and 11 to look at Spurs and see has Nuno got them playing well. If he hasn't, I'm not looking at Reguilon. Greenwood is a fine pick, but it's looking more likely that Ole is under pressure. He might not even be the manager come game week 12. So that could be a really good pick, or it could be a bad pick because his position could be a risk. So it's really hard to say. I don't think you look that far ahead. I think you roll your transfer if you know what you want to do, or look at improving your weakest area squad, or trying to free up some funds if you think if you do want to get Son in, for example, because I think Son is probably one of the better picks to get in. So that was that. Oh, now I got to pull up. This here. All fucked up. I got to pull up my own one. Just make sure there's no question.
Yeah, I think that was great. You answered that very well, Seamus, because I don't think the way the season has gone so far, it's been very hard to plan ahead. Any plans that, I've had a couple of plans this season so far, and I haven't been able to implement any of them because of injuries and things.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's costing me.
I haven't been haven't been able to implement any plans that I did have. Like, I actually write some of the stuff down in a little notebook, and everything I've written down I haven't been able to do.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. A lot of my transfer, like my planned transfer this week was to get in, what's his face, Trent. But now I still might do it for -4 because I should have just did the -4 I was talking about last week, which was Alonso to chill. Would have ended up 8 points better.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
That's my own mistake. It was the last decision I wanted to make, but I said, look, I'll go with it. But now I don't know. Not every week that goes on, I feel it's more likely Alonso will start, and the week I move him out is the week he'll play. But that's something I'll think about. Yeah, the final question we had was from Rubber Ducky himself, actually, where he asked, why is the FPL Hangover podcast mini league an enigma? He is absolutely nailing it this season, Rubber Ducky, and it's like the one league each week where he suddenly he gets a red arrow or he can't seem to get a green. Now he's got a green this week. He's in third place. He's only 5 points behind FPL Dad. I think he's just a small bit frustrated. He's not number one. But look,
and that's because it's a very good league, mate.
It's
because quality. That's because the quality is higher than your standard, Rubber Ducky.
There's 6 people separated, 6 points separating the top 5 in that mini league, so that's a fine mini league there. But look, that's the end of the drunk tank questions. There, we gotta finish up. We said we were going to do a spaces, and we've been recording here long enough.
And
so,
we are going to do a spaces.
Yeah, and I've just looked at it, and thank God this is still recording, because if we had to do all this again, I may cry. But Paddy, thank you for joining us. Anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Just have a good wank to yourself and enjoy yourself, and don't beat yourself up about a terrible game week. Remember, it's only a game, and it's only one game week, and there's so many game weeks left. And if you want to chat to me, Seamus, or Jer, our DMs are open. Send nudes.
Send nudes. That's well said. Just to make you all aware, look, if you're not, I'm not sure if this is going to be on YouTube this week, but if you want to listen to us, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Breaker, Castbox. I listen on Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Stitcher. You can also get us on Spotify. If you want to contact us, I'm at FPL Drunk, Paddy's at FPL Viking _, and the podcast itself at FPL Hangover. You can email us at gmail.com. FPL Hangover at gmail.com. Anything else I've missed? I don't think so. Paddy's left. He's kind of taking a pish. And so I guess it's up to me to say thank you and good night.